Hello everyone. Today's topic is LODR Second Amendment Regulations 2021. In furtherance to one of the decisions taken in the board meeting held on March 25, 2001, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, has recently notified the amendments to SEBI Listing Obligations and Disclosure Requirements Regulations 2015, bringing major changes in the existing regulations. Basis the objectives, I have segregated the amendments in LODR regulations for the ease of understanding in 5 major heads. First is regular compliance. Second are the changes with respect to risk management committee. Third is the reclassification process and its changes from promoter category to public category. Fourth is event-based compliance changes. And the last one is applicability to top 1000 listed companies on the basis of their market capitalization. Before discussing the heads one by one, I want to discuss one major change in the applicability of LODR regulations basis the specified thresholds. Now onwards, if any provision is applicable on any listed company basis the market capitalization, it will continue to be applicable even if the limits falls below the threshold prescribed by LODR. That is, for example, dividend distribution policy, business responsibility and sustainability report, etc. Let's discuss all the heads now one by one. The first one is regular compliance. The major changes why this amendment has been made in the regular compliance provisions only. The compliance certificate from the share transfer agent now required to be submitted annually in place of half yearly, and that would be submitted within 30 days of the financial year. It is required for certifying that all the activities in relation to share transfer facility are maintained. Second is corporate governance provisions mentioned in Regulation 17 to 27. It will continue to be applied to such entities unless the paid up capital or the net worth requirements falls and continues to remain below the threshold limits for a period of 3 consecutive financial years. Secretarial audit report of listed entities and its subsidiaries also are now required to be attached to the annual report of listed entity. It is being clarified that independent directors meeting required once in every financial year. Earlier it was only year. Quarterly corporate governance report now to be submitted with the stock exchange within 21 days in place of 15 days. This change has been brought to make it in consonance with the shareholding pattern. In case of board meetings held for more than one day, the financial results shall be disclosed by listed entities within 30 minutes of end of board meeting for the day on which the financial results are considered. Voting results to be intimated to stock exchange within 2 working days in place of 48 hours. That makes time for the listed entities, excluding the public holidays of stock exchanges like Sundays or Saturdays, etc. 2 exceptions for uploading financial statements of subsidiary companies on website, that is required to be uploaded 21 days prior to the date of annual general meeting of the listed entities. The first exception is consolidated financial statements can be uploaded on the website for the subsidiaries where the subsidiary is statutorily required to prepare consolidated financial statements under any law of the country of its incorporation. Unaudited financial statements can be placed for those subsidiaries who are not required to get it audited under any law of the country of its incorporation. And if that financials are not in English language, the translation in English language also required to be uploaded with the financials. Now, certain additional disclosures prescribed by SEBI through this amendment for the website as well. Secretarial compliance report, policy for determination of material events or information and contact details for KMP, responsible for the determination and also responsible for intimation to the stock exchange. All the disclosures made to stock exchange under Regulation 30, annual return prepared as per Section 92 of the Companies Act, etc. Additional disclosures in annual report are also prescribed with respect to Risk Management Committee, including its terms of reference, composition, its chairperson, meetings and attendance, etc. Now the requirement to publish newspaper advertisements for the notice of board meetings where financial results are to be considered and for quarterly statement on deviation or variation in use of funds is dispensed with and it is no longer required to be published. Several major changes have been made in the Risk Management Committee. The requirement to constitute the Risk Management Committee has been extended to top 1000 listed companies in place of earlier 500 listed companies as per their market capitalization. The RMC shall have minimum 3 members, with majority of them being members of board and 1 independent director. It shall meet twice in a year with a maximum gap of 180 days. Earlier it was once. The quorum for a meeting of the RMC shall be either 2 members or 1/3 of the members, whichever is higher, including at least 1 member of the board. The role of the RMC has been specified, which inter alia includes formulation of a detailed risk management policy and monitoring its implementation, periodic review of such policy, review of the appointment, removal, and terms of remuneration of the chief risk officer, if any, etc. Next is changes in regulatory framework for reclassification of promoter or promoter group entities to public. The new process and the exemptions are displayed on the screens, which you can also download by clicking link given in the description box of the video. The board approved the proposal to rationalize the existing framework pertaining to reclassification of promoter or promoter group entities, which includes exemption from: first exemption, reclassification pursuant to an order of the regulator under any law. This is brought in consonance with the existing exemption already available to cases of resolution plan approved under the Insolvency Code. Second exemption is from the requirement of seeking approval of shareholders. In a case where the promoter seeking reclassification holds shareholding of less than 1%, subject to the promoter not being in control. Now, few procedural requirements related to reclassification, such as obtaining request from promoter, approval of the board and the shareholders in case of open offer under the SEBI takeover regulation and the scheme of arrangement, is no longer required. This exemption shall be subject to outgoing promoters' intent of reclassification being disclosed in the letter of offer or scheme of arrangement. It will include fulfilling other requirements such as the promoter should not be in control, not represented on the board, etc. It has also been decided to reduce the time gap between the date of board meeting and shareholders meeting for consideration of reclassification to a minimum of 1 month and maximum of 3 months, in place of the existing requirements of minimum 3 months and maximum 6 months. Event-based compliance changes. Timeline specified for quarterly submission of monitoring agency report on utilization of public or right issue proceeds. It is to be submitted within 45 days of each quarter with the stock exchanges. Any listed entity desirous of undertaking a scheme of arrangement now required to mandatorily obtain no objection certificate from stock exchanges before filing any scheme with court or tribunal. Now, observation letter cannot be a base for filing the schemes with court or tribunal. No objection certificate is mandatory. The requirement to seek stock exchange approval for change of name of a listed entity is dispensed with, and now the shareholders' approval is required for that. Audit committee is now required to consider and comment on rationale, cost benefits, and impact of schemes involving merger, demerger, amalgamation, etc. on the listed entity and its shareholders. Now, the last is applicability on the top 1,000 listed entities. Apart from Risk Management Committee, as discussed earlier, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report is applicable on top 1,000 listed entities from financial year 22-23, and currently for 21-22, Business Responsibility Report would be applicable. Requirement for formulation of dividend distribution policy by the existing top 500 listed entities has been extended also to top 1,000 listed entities on the basis of their market capitalization. You can have more detailed insight on this LODR amendment by going to my website, that is ayushij.com. Thank you.